Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. I am Princess Habiba Saripaudak. Welcome to Balitang Pambansa.
Tonight's headlines. The government continues to wage its battle against disinformation and while so doing has received very encouraging recognition concerning the country's ranking in the World Press Freedom Index. The administration's senatorial bets got a huge endorsement from the leader of one of the most vote-rich provinces in the country. The Philippines and U.S. forces pushed through with their maritime strike exercise despite not having an actual target.
On top of the news, the Philippines is steadily shedding off its ill-deserved reputation as a dangerous place for journalists and media practitioners. A concerted effort by the government stakeholders and journalists themselves has led to greater physical protection for the sector and a substantial drop in deaths and serious injuries suffered by media people. Ariclay Zelpardilia tells us more.
Being a news writer is more than a career. It is a calling from God for Angelica Toyama.
Yung skills po na meron po ako is nakikita ko po iyon na mahalaga po ngayon para malabanan yung fake news dahil po ito po yung kailangan po ng tao na malaman po yung katotohanan
Toyama is one of thousands of Filipino journalists whose safety and role in society is being prioritized by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s administration.
Ang sabi po ng Pangulo, be assured that we are doubling down on our commitment to protect our journalists and to uphold press freedom. We stand with you hand in hand in this fight.
The Philippines improved its ranking in the 2024 World Press Freedom Index, climbing to 160th out of 180 countries, its highest position in the past 20 years. The improvement has been linked to the strength and protection of media workers under the Marcos Jr. administration. There has also been a reduction in media killings and harassment cases in recent years. Undersecretary Castro highlighted this progress.
It shows that the President respects one's right of expression and the responsible journalism.
Likewise, the government has intensified efforts to combat the spread of misinformation and fake news. The Department of Information and Communications Technology and Google Philippines have partnered to strengthen the identification of AI-generated content, improve human moderation, and reinforce enforcement of YouTube community guidelines. The DICT Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center will also launch a rapid response channel
para i-flag ang mga harmful and unlawful online content para masiguro ang accountability at mabilisang aksyon pagdating sa mga online content.
Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police has formed a joint anti-fake news action committee which aims to stop the spread of false information and track down those who fund it. The Presidential Communications Office is working closely with the DICT, PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group, and the Department of Justice to establish regulations that will hold social media users accountable for the spread of disinformation.
Sinabi ni Secretary Luis na bubuo ang ahensya ng Interagency Task Force para labanan ang online misinformation at disinformation.
The spread of fake news deprives Filipinos of a right to the truth. The new Joint Anti-Fake News Action Committee vows to take down false online content and hold those responsible and accountable.
It's the economy, stupid, the enduring catchphrase from feisty Democrat and Bill Clinton political advisor James Carville during the 1992 presidential elections campaign, which only means the economy is always top issue among the electorate in a free and democratic nation. No surprise, the Marcos Jr. presidency has growing the economy his top priority in his working agenda. And he was quick to acknowledge and thank the Filipino labor force as key to the nation, always maintaining a high GDP growth each year. He also touted the country's improving state of public transportation, which he vowed will culminate in a working subway system in the mega city before he steps down from power. He then cited how his administration intends to broaden the coverage of free Wi-Fi or internet connectivity running at respectable speed. In addressing climate change, the president reminded the public how his government continues to build flood control infrastructure in the mega city and elsewhere. And ultimately, he made his case for the Alianza Senate slate by reminding the people sustaining all this program of government hinges on putting the best people in government who will help make it all happen.
Pinaghahanda po natin ang ating ekonomiya upang lumago, upang lumakas, at lahat po ng maaring gawin upang dalhin po natin ang mga malalaking planta, ang malalaking investor dito sa Pilipinas. Kaya naman po, masasabi ko naman, meron naman tayong masasabi na matagumpay naman po ang ating mga sinusubukan dahil trilyon-trilyon na po na piso ang pumapasok na investment dito sa Pilipinas. Bago po ako matatapos bilang Pangulo, magkakaroon na tayo ng subway dito sa Pilipinas. Yung subway, yung tren na dumadaan sa ilalim ng lupa. Yung nakikita po natin, dati nakikita lang natin sa sine yan. Meron na po tayo dito sa Pilipinas niya. Kailangan natin pagandahin ang ating flood control. Hindi lamang yan, itong flood control, kasama na rin po yan, yung pag-iipon ng tubig para mainom ng mga household at para sa irigasyon sa agrikultura. Lahat po ginagawa natin yan.
The government continues its effort to fulfill the administration's goal of building a more inclusive and progressive nation through various programs and projects. The Marcos administration is currently constructing dams and implementing flood control projects to store water to be used during the dry season. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has also assured the public that internet access will be made available in remote areas of the country to ensure broader access to education, health services, and livelihood opportunities. Meanwhile, the palace assured that the country will have sufficient power and water supply, supported by the completion of the One Great project under the Marcos administration. Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia served the NFA rise to President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. during his visit to Dumanhog for the One Cebu People's Rally. Garcia also expressed deep gratitude to President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. for fulfilling his promise of 20 pesos per kilo rice, officially launched in Cebu on May 1. Garcia endorsed most of the administration-backed senatorial candidates in the upcoming midterm polls. The Queen City of the South and the entire province it belongs to touts close to 3.5 qualified voters who will in large part determine who breaks through and who breaks down in their respective races. Hence, the president once anew joined his hand-picked choices for the Senate in brainstorming Cebu province earlier today, where he touted and lauded each and every candidate in his ruling coalition ticket. Aramela Lismoras has more.
In front of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia formally endorsed the senatorial candidates of the administration's Alianza para sa Bagong Pilipinas. According to Garcia, Cebu will demonstrate the real unity in the upcoming 2025 national elections. Cebu is one of the most vote-rich provinces in the country with 3.4 million registered voters.
We are for unity. We are for progress because we are one Cebu, solid behind the duly elected President of the Republic of the Philippines who knows how to keep his word, who fulfills his promises, none other than President Ferdinand BBM. Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Ako nga ngayon atong suportahan ang alyansa senatorial candidates.
In return, the president expressed his deep gratitude for Cebu's warm support for the administration's slate. In his speech, the chief executive emphasized that the Alianza senatorial candidates deserve to be elected as they possess extensive experience and deep knowledge on various issues the country is facing right now.
Kailangan po natin magkaalyansa. Kaya po, kailangan po natin na sabay-sabay na kinakalaban ang mga manghaharang para lang sa kanilang mga sarili at lagi po nating iniisip ang kapakanan ng bawat Pilipino. Yan po ang alyansa. Yan po ang ginagawa ng One Cebu. Yan po ang dapat nating suportahan sa darating halalan.
For his part, Alianza senatorial candidate Erwin Tulfo thanked Cebu officials for their support and assured to never let them down. Former DILG Secretary Benhur Abalos also expressed his gratitude not only to the Cebu governor but also to others who have endorsed him.
Ako'y nagpapasalamat sa kanilang lahat for this kind of endorsement. Malaking bagay talaga ito. Yung kay Vice Ganda, ang laking bagay na endorsement yun.
For other Alianza candidates, support also continues to pour in. Makati City Mayor Abby Binay was endorsed by Laguna Governor Ramil Hernandez. Former Senator Manny Pacquiao drew the support of the province of Tawi-Tawi, headed by Governor Ishmael Sali. House Deputy Speaker Camille Villar also thanked residents of Dasmariñas, Cavite. For Senator Bong Revilla, he had former Batangas Governor Vilma Santos Recto to thank for her full support of the Alianza slate. Meanwhile, the Jesus is Lord Church Worldwide has also released an initial list of candidates it vows to support in Monday's elections, to include 4 candidates from Alianza. From PTV, Melales Moras, Balitang Pambansa.
Just a week before the 2025 midterm elections, the co-founder and managing partner of the controversial PR firm Infinitus Marketing Solution faced the Senate panel. It can be recalled that the PR firm is facing allegations about troll farms and alleged contract with the Chinese embassy. But as they face the Senate panel, they denied allegations sounding them. Senator Francis Tolentino, meanwhile, is not buying some of their statements. As the Balikatan exercises between the Philippines and the United States unfolded, the BRP Miguel Malvar was set to make its final stand as a target ship. But nature had other plans, battling rough sea conditions, and the vessel met its unexpected end before the planned exercise could even commence. PTV's Patrick De Jesus takes us through this story.
This was taken Monday morning as the former BRP Miguel Malvar was being towed from Sangli Point, Cavite. It was supposed to serve as the target for the Balikatan Maritime Strike exercise to be conducted 40 nautical miles off the coast of Zambales. But before the exercise could even begin, the ship sank past 7 a.m. due to rough sea conditions. According to the Philippine Navy, none of their personnel were injured.
She met all the criteria for her to be selected as a designated target. However, due to rough sea conditions that we are currently experiencing in the exercise box and with its long service life as is expected, she took on a significant amount of water and eventually sank.
Environmental cleanup was also conducted on the ship before the planned exercise, removing residual oil and other contaminants that could harm the marine environment. Despite this, the simulated live-fire maritime strike between Philippine and American troops continued.
The training will integrate ground, maritime, and air-based sensors and shooters in a combined joint fires network, as the Philippines and U.S. Joint Task Forces exercise command and control while exercising combined warfighting capabilities.
The ship, which served since World War II, was over 8 years old before its decommissioning in 2021. Last year, a Chinese-made ship, the BRP Lake Caliraya, was the target of Balikatan's maritime strike. Other Balikatan exercises proceeded as scheduled. including a counter-landing live-fire exercise in Apari, Cagayan over the weekend aimed at preventing an amphibious assault from the sea. Assets used included howitzers, light tanks, and javelin missiles. US F-16 and F-18 fighter jets flew in alongside Apache attack helicopters to provide close air support. In Balabac, Palawan, the 3rd Marine Brigade led an amphibious landing exercise, simulating the retaking of a strategic island. Participating forces included the US Armed Forces and Australian Defence Force, with the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force and UK Royal Marines as observers. Balikatan 2025 will conclude on Friday. From PTV Manila, Patrick De Jesus, Balitang Pambansa.
On the other news, the Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, has debunked reports circulating that voters without a national ID will not be allowed to vote in the upcoming midterm polls. The poll body clarified that the information is false and should be regarded as fake news, and stressed that no form of identification, including a national ID, is required to vote on election day. COMELEC once again urged the public to be critical in their assessment of election-related information found online. The palace released a statement refuting the claim of Vice President Sara Duterte that the administration was merely politicking with regards to the complaint filed against his brother, Davao City Representative Paulo Pulong Duterte. According to Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro, it would be better if Representative Pulong will just answer the complaint. To recall, a complaint was filed against Pulong for allegedly injuring a businessman in a bar in Davao City. The Department of Tourism, or DOT, has called on the public to comply with the suspension order issued by the local government of Botolan, Zambales regarding all tourism-related activities, programs, and projects at Mount Pinatubo beginning May 2. According to the Tourism Department, it is taking into consideration the concerns raised by 5 ITA plans from Capas Tarlac. This action also comes after a consultative session conducted by the DOT Central Luzon office with various stakeholders. In a previous statement, the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, or the NCIP, revealed that members of the ITA community blocked access to Mount Pinatubo's crater to voice their demand for fair compensation and recognition of their ancestral domain rights. Meanwhile, the Commission on Elections and Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center of Department of Information and Communications Technology launched Threat Monitoring Center for the 2025 midterm elections. This aims to monitor the misinformation, disinformation, and hacking that might happen during elections. The Threat Monitoring Center includes the detection of deep fake or manipulated audio or videos. According to DICD Assistant Secretary Renato Paraiso, with the help of the Action Center, they are ready to find those people who violate the COMELEC rules and fake news peddlers. The prime mover of national development that transformed former military bases and properties into premier centers of economic growth has tripled its investments in the first quarter of the year. This and more in tonight's Business Wrap from the Philippine News Agency.
In our business news, the Bases Conversion and Development Authority, or BCDA, has tripled its investments in the first quarter of 2025 to 7.72 billion pesos from 2.49 billion last year. BCDA President and CEO Joshua Bincang said this was brought by the surge in investments in properties of government-owned and controlled corporations, particularly the New Clark City in Tarlac and Camp John Hay in Baguio City. Local investors poured in 5.81 billion pesos, while foreign investors contributed 1.91 billion pesos. The Science Park of the Philippines previously signed a 50-year lease with BCDA to develop a 100-hectare industrial park in New Clark City worth 2.7 billion pesos. A Filipino-South Korean consortium also announced a 4.8 billion peso housing facility, a portion of which will support President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s Pambansang Pabahay para sa Pilipino program. In Camp John Hay, 4 local firms committed new investments in food and hospitality following BCDA's recovery of the 247-hectare property. Meanwhile, the United States has expressed continued support for the Luzon Economic Corridor, or LEC, despite the Trump administration's order to stop government financing programs in different countries. Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs, Frederick Go, said the U.S. Trade and Development Agency has increased its grant funding for the pre-feasibility study of the Subic-Clark-Manila-Batangas Cargo Railway from $2.5 million to $3.8 million. Go said increased grant for this SCMB study reflects growing investor confidence as well as Washington's continued support for the Philippines' development priorities. The SCMB Freight Rail is the flagship project of the LEC, which seeks to link key industrial and trade zones in Subic Bay, Clark, Manila, and Batangas. And that's the latest business news from the Philippine News Agency. This is Marita Muahe for Balitang Pambansa.
Local farmers continue to receive assistance from the government through a new solar-powered irrigation system designed to ensure sustainable and efficient water access for farmlands. Main Odong from Philippine Information Agency Calabarzon tells us more.
Edgardo Valdoria, a farmer from Barangay Castañas in Sariaya, Quezon, is among those who will directly benefit from the newly launched solar-powered irrigation system by the National Irrigation Administration in their barangay. This is aligned with the President's initiatives and directives to focus on development projects.
Ngayon po naman, nagkaroon na po ng solar. Malaking bagay na po talaga, malaking tulong po ito para sa amin. Unang-una, yung pambayad namin sa diesel na ipinangano sa mawawala na, mapupunta na po yun sa pamilya na po yun.
The project is expected to help farmers in Sariaya save around 80,000 pesos in operating cost per cropping season and will provide financial relief to farmers as it offers reliable and renewable water source, crucial for areas with limited supply. NIA officials say that this is part of a nationwide push for climate-resilient and eco-friendly agricultural systems, especially in remote areas to improve productivity where traditional irrigation access is limited.
Ramdam natin ang epekto ng tagtuyot sa pagpapayabong ng ating mga pananim. Pero nakita nyo naman, dati-rati, kung kailan tayo dapat magtanim kasi maaraw, hindi na tayo nakakapagtanim. Pero ngayon, kakampi na natin ang araw kasi yun na po ang fuel ng ating solar pump. Kaya ang productivity natin lumalaki.
Water remains a key resource for agriculture, which is why, through the solar-centered communal irrigation system, NIA expects a more bountiful harvest and an increased income for local farmers. From PIA Calabarzon, Main Odong, Balitang Pambansa.
Today's Philippine Air Force is more than just a defender of the skies. It is also a catalyst for positive change on the ground. Alet Reyes from the Philippine Information Agency, Leyte, has the details.
More than being a key responder to typhoons and disasters, the Philippine Air Force in Eastern Visayas recently showcased its diverse capabilities in a mall exhibit, highlighting its crucial role beyond emergency response and emphasizing its commitment to community engagement. This initiative, aligned with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s call, was fully supported by PAF and warmly received by the public, who applauded PAF's dedication and transparency. The mall exhibit highlighted the Air Force's comprehensive air defense capabilities, encompassing combat support operations, aviation and maritime domain awareness, humanitarian assistance and disaster response capabilities, all of which were vividly demonstrated during Super Typhoon Yolanda and other disasters that have struck the region.
Purpose po talaga nito is para maging aware yung mga mga citizen, yung ating mga taong bayan na meron pong Philippine Air Force. Showcase our capabilities na nalaman nila na hindi lang Army, Navy at Marines, meron ding Philippine Air Force. Station po kami actually sa DZR Airport, which is meron doon runway, doon kami naka-station. We will always be the first responder po pagdating sa mga disaster and response. No? Yan po kasi talaga yung primary role ng air.
Office of the Civil Defense Regional Director Lord Byron Torrecarion in his message lauded the PAF in the region for its rapid damage assessments and critical relief delivery to isolated communities during disaster response operations. He emphasized that their service extends far beyond traditional military duties and into the heart of the community building. As they celebrate their 78th anniversary on July 1, 2025, the Philippine Air Force's message is clear. They are not just defenders of the nation's skies. They are partners in building a stronger, healthier, and more resilient Philippines. From the Philippine Information Agency, Leyte, Alan Reyes, Balitang Pambansa.
And for our weather update, two weather systems will bring rains to different parts of the country. According to Pag-asa, the trough of a low-pressure area located 555 kilometers west-northwest of Coron, Palawan will bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms over Palawan. Cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms will be experienced in Caraga, Davao Region, and southern Leyte, while Metro Manila and the rest of the country will experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms due to easterlies. Meanwhile, Pag-asa recorded a danger level of 45 degrees Celsius heat index in Apari, Cagayan. And that concludes a rundown for the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news and information from all across the nation. This is your trusted news source, always ready to inform and serve the Filipino people. Catch Balitang Pambansa again tomorrow at 7 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m., and 9:30 p.m. for more updates and developments. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Princess Habiba Saripaudak, and this is your Balitang Pambansa.